In 2012 and 2013, the Federal Transit Administration, FTA, working with the U.S. Department of Labor and the Veteran Administration, launched a unique discretionary grant program to address the transportation needs of veterans, active duty military, and their families. They provided grants to build or enhance existing transportation call centers in a program called the Veterans Transportation Community Living Initiative, VTCLI. Approximately 60 grants were awarded throughout the U.S. While the FTA assistance was for capital assistance, the grant recipients were required to demonstrate that the projects were collaborative efforts by the larger community and addressed issues of employment. This is a story of how one VTCLI grant recipient in suburban Boston, the Metro West Regional Transit Authority, took up the challenge to address the issue of employment for persons with disabilities in the VTCLI Enhanced Transit Call Center. The new call center was opened on July 1st, 2015.
The idea is, to give people what they need. Put the tools in people's hands and don't just enable people. And we've taken the approach where we really want to help people help themselves.
What I'm struck at is that you went from 0 scheduling dispatches to now you have a really full house in the current situation. It seems very tight, but everybody's working very hard in that session. How do you think they'll view this new facility?
Well, I hope they're going to love it. We included them in the design. We wanted their input into what they wanted in a call center, and we hope we've done that.
What are some of the features that you built into the physical environment?
Well, windows for one. We didn't have windows in our other facility, and that was the number one thing that they wanted. We have adjustable desks. We have a good light. We have a up-to-date HVAC system. We have rugs on the floor that absorb some of the sound. The tiles are first class on the ceiling. It's just a great little environment, we think.
I've never seen quite the number of people with disabilities working in a call center. It always struck me that that's a great opportunity. How did you come to that situation?
I actually sit on the board of the Center for Independent Living, and Paul Spooner mentored me for these many years, and just by being on that board, I began to understand some of the challenges that people with disabilities have, and disabilities come in all packages too. There are the obvious ones, and there are the not so obvious ones, and far be it from me to be the judge of somebody else and what their capacities are for things, but there are some things that one can make accommodations for, and our relationship with the Commission for the Blind has allowed us to hire visually impaired people who are some of our best employees. I mean, they're just terrific, and all they needed was just some software and hardware to be able to go to work. And now this is a community with a 70% unemployment rate. So, and they're in the 95th percentile of education. Why would you not want to hire these people? You do the supply and demand curve. You have a supply of workers, and the demand is low for these workers only because they don't understand about accessibility. So you can change that supply and demand curve and take that 70% and make it work to your advantage. Now you have people who really, really want a job, and they really want to work, and they appreciate the fact that you've made an accommodation, and they give you 110% when they come to work. You don't have to manage these people. All you have to do is guide them and support them.
So how much did this cost, this reasonable accommodation?
It cost me $0 because of the Commission for the Blind's advocacy for the folks. Now, Then again, we have people in wheelchairs that work for us, or and all we had to do for that person was buy a desk that was adjustable for his chair to go underneath it. Well, how much does that cost? You have to buy a desk anyway. It didn't cost that much more to provide this opportunity for one of our best employees, who interestingly enough, when he came to us and started working, he's a great employee, but now this has given him the opportunity to get out into the community, and he's actually a member of the Framingham Disability Commission, because it's a self-esteem thing too. Work provides self-esteem for people. People with disabilities are a different kind of a customer, and when I say that with all due respect. That people with disabilities sometimes have harder times than other people who are calling up to order gallons of ice cream. I mean, they're ordering a ride because they need it to survive, and sometimes they will think that there is no empathy on the other side of that telephone line. They think they're talking with somebody who doesn't understand. But the point is, in our call center, people do understand, because if you're not disabled, you're working next to somebody who is disabled, and that rubs off. That understanding and empathy and sympathy, or whatever it is, it's an education, is what it is.
Are there more disabled people in the call center?
We're at 40% disabled, and we get a pretty good track record with diversity as well.
Yeah. How about retention?
It's very good. We don't lose people very often.
Where do they go when you lose them?
Well, from the disabled community, they move up. Most of our people are part-time, and so when they move to a full-time job. I have very few full-time workers in there, by design.
So it's a true ladders of opportunity.
Indeed.